1.4 news continues. We got the first peek at how Rosaria is looking like in action, which is a big deal when it comes to her kit because she's going to be a fantastic 4-star damage dealing carry character. Let's get into that as well. As you can see, the Invitation of Windbloom event is coming out. It's going to star Rosaria on one of the two banners there. We know we're getting the Venti rerun banner, then the Child rerun banner as well during the duration of 1.4, and Rosaria is going to star on one of those banners. I do believe it's supposed to be the Child banner, although correct me down there if I am incorrect, but I do believe that is what the case is here. Now, she is going to be an exceptionally strong character. We're going to be going over her kit in combination with what they sort of showed off for her animations in the 1.4 official trailer for that Invitation of Windbloom. Now, when I say she's going to be a very strong carry character, she's a Cryo Polearm character, so keep that in mind as well. This is because a lot of her damage is going to be physical based, and her being Cryo, she's already part of that superconduct element, or you can go ahead and do freeze as well if you want to be more controlling in here. Now, she is a character 4-star base, so she doesn't have the most crazy base attack in the game. She's not like Diluc with 335 plus attack here. She has 240 base attack, so okay there. She scales and gets attack percent as her scaling stat. That's not phenomenal, guys. No one's gonna tell you that that's good. Okay, you'd rather see crit chance or crit damage, but it's better than something like Elemental Mastery, right? So that's okay there. Also, maybe like physical damage up would be pretty cool, but whatever. She gets attack percent. It's going to scale up a little bit. That's going to mean you're going to want like a higher leveled up weapon if you guys are just getting into the game, starting right now into 1.4. And we'll talk more about what weapons are going to be good on her. You guys already know what ones are going to be talking about here. So let's look at an attack talent real quick here. Now, this is very important, right? A lot of people skip over the normal attack multipliers. Now, she has a 5 combo attack here. Each of these attacks, though, they're not necessarily one hit each. So the first one here is a single attack. The second one's a single attack. The third hit hits 2 times. The fourth hit is a single attack. And then the fifth hit hits 2 times as well. Now, if you take a look at the level 10 multiplier over here, 103% into 102% into 63% that hits 2 times, 137%, and then 82 that hits 2 times there, or 82.28 into 85%, and their charge stack is 270%. So what does this mean? Is this good? Is this bad? What's going on here? So let's compare it to some other characters in Genshin Impact for her normal attack combination. Now, if we have another 4-star character, Xiangling, right, really sticks out in a lot of people's minds here. Quick attack character here. She has 83%, so she is significantly weaker than Rosaria. We have 83, 83, 51, 51, 27 times 4, where Xiangling really likes doing that crescent pike there, into 140, and then her charge attack is 270. So Rosaria has higher multipliers than Xiangling. She has some of the highest multipliers in the game for her normal attack and charge to hit combinations. Even some of the 5-stars like Zhongli, lower multipliers than your girl Rosaria here. That's a big deal. Hu Tao, lower multipliers as well. The only person who beats her out here is actually Zhao over here, who just comes right out of the gate, just beats everyone up by 1.5 miles, being the main carry animo character that he is there. But Rosaria really holds her own as a 4-star character, and this is very, very, very big here. So that's awesome. Her E, her elemental skill, Ravaging Confession, she does the, sorry kid, nothing personal, teleports behind her target and then stabs them and slashes them with the polearm. This does cryo damage. Okay, now if your opponent is a big target, you're not going to teleport behind them automatically. So if you're fighting, you know, maybe some of those big world bosses, right, like the Regicines, or maybe even the new Geovishhat boss, or some, or even like the Ruin Graders, you're probably not going to be able to teleport behind those guys. You're going to have to run around them in order to use this skill and get that back attack there and look cool while doing it there. But the cool thing about this is that it has a 6-second cooldown, so it's a low cooldown, and even though it does do crowd damage, the multiplier on it is pretty good, but it's not like insanely strong, right? It's a 2-hit skill. At level 10 here, you can see it's 110% mod, or 105, I should say, into a 244% mod there. So a little bit, you know, almost a 350% multiplier. That's pretty strong, but this is usually, I foresee this as being like a more of a movement-oriented thing when it comes to how much damage she does when you plug in all the numbers and the builds and the team members that you can have in a team with Rosaria. This is going to allow you to dodge around attacks, and I foresee a lot of players using it like that. So that's going to be pretty cool there. Now we also have Rites of Termination here, of Rosaria's unique take on this prayer ritual. Swings her weapon slash AoE, and she summons ice lances that strike the ground, and all of this is cryo damage. Now while this is active, her elemental burst duration is going on, you're going to periodically have AoE explosions of cold air. We've seen this before as well in the trailer here. It does look like it's a sizable region. It looks about the same as like Albedo's region when he plants his nice little flower down. So that's going to be pretty cool. This will be a very good way to proc both of these, because of low cooldown on the E, proc different cryo-based elemental reactions, whether it be melt, and you can have her be the melt support, so she does the cryo, and then maybe have like timed skills that you want to really get in there and melt with like a pyro character. You can do that if you so desire, if you have a slow hitting pyro character, or you can do stuff like freeze with her, or you can do stuff like superconduct with her, and that's going to be insane because the multipliers on her normal attack, her charge attack combos, they are very, very, very high. And we'll have to see exactly what her full combination, like the duration that it takes, how long it takes to get through all of them. But I don't see Crescent Pike being beat out, period, especially if I have a higher refinement rank Crescent Pike. But we'll touch on that more in a little bit when it comes to making a team for this character. And it's going to be Superconductor. Okay, Superconductor is going to be really strong for her here. Now, the skill damage on this, you can see here, activation, pretty decent. Level this up all the way to level 10, 187%, followed by 273%. Okay, so you're getting just over, 450% there. And then the ice dot damage here, this is going to do 237% at max level here. It doesn't say the time between each of those ticks there, so keep that in mind. 8 durations for 8 seconds here. It's 15-second cooldown. If it happens 2 times, right, every 2 seconds, so you're gonna get maybe 4 of these ice lance ticks out. That's probably what we'll be seeing there. I'd be very surprised if it was every 1 second, because that would be a lot of damage, and it didn't seem to be pulsing that often in some of those gameplay clips. So if you know the exact timing, do put that down in the description below. I could not find anything concrete on that, but I do think it's 2 seconds there. This is going to be a great way to proc those superconductor related debuffs here. Now let's get into her ascensions real quick. She does have night walk, right? If it's dark time, because she a vamper, your movement speed on your whole team is going up by 10%. Her first ascension here is going to be when she strikes an opponent from behind using a Ravaging Confession, her E, you get 12% crit rate for 5 seconds. This is very, very big, and that's why you're going to have this mobility thing. The skills there does some damage, but it's going to get you out of trouble, right? Enemy throws fireballs at you or something, they're doing some nasty stuff to you. You hit that E, you teleport behind them, you hit them a little bit, maybe use that to activate your superconduct after you get back in for maybe your official support or whoever it is you use, maybe Lisa, I don't know. But you get that 12% crit rate for free. 12% crit rate, we love that in Genshin Impact. The next one here, Shadow Samaritan, casting Rites of Termination. This is going to be her elemental burst. Increases the crit rate of all nearby party members except for herself by 15% of Rosaria's crit rate for 10 seconds. Crit rate bonus gained this way cannot exceed 15%. So basically, if you have like the traditional 50% crit rate build, right, and you activate her elemental burst, everyone else can get 15% of that. So if you had 100% crit rate, they'd get 15%, which is the cap, right? Because 15% of 100 is 15, and that is also the cap. If you have half of that, you're going to be giving everyone 7.5%. So this one is a little bit interesting. It's going to maybe help out other characters in your party, right? Namely, like maybe you have like official support. Boom, Fish would get some extra crit rate there. You increase Rosaria's crit rate with her elemental skill first. Maybe have 50% in your build. You knock that up to 62%, and then you give 15% of that to your official, who's now getting 8.5%, 9% free crit rate from Oz, doing damage out there, proc and superconduct. That sounds pretty awesome, right? You're gonna get that physical resistance down for your big Rosaria carry. Now she has a 4-star character, so let's talk about those constellations here. Now this is a big one here. Constellation 1 is probably gonna be one of her better ones here. Okay, so when she does a critical hit, her attack speed increases by 10% and her normal attack damage increases by 10% for 4 seconds. This is awesome. She gives crit rate with her elemental skill that gets her out of trouble. Boom, 12% free crit rate. When she does a critical hit, her attack speed goes up, and this is one of the best things you can get in Genshin, really, on a hard carry character like Rosaria, right? Razors out there love buffs like this, and that's one of the reasons why he's such a great physical carry. She gets a buff very similar to that, but it's in her Constellation 1. So this every 4 seconds, if you can do 1 crit every 4 seconds, you have this permanently. So that's awesome there. C2 here, The duration of the ice lances goes up by 4 seconds, so this is pretty nice. It'll give you some extra time on your elemental burst. Remember, it's already 8. This takes up to 12, and if that does take every 2 seconds, you can look at like another 2 procs that could interact with superconduct or melt or whatever that you decide to do. Maybe freeze on top of that, so that's cool there. C4 here. Ravaging Confession's crit hit regenerates 5 energy for Rosaria, so this is gonna help you fill up your elemental burst. Your elemental burst costs 60 energy here, and you get to cast your elemental skill every 6 seconds. So you can get 5 energy every 6 seconds, which isn't going to fill it up on its own, but just in the cooldown alone, if you have 18 seconds out of the 15, you could get 10 to 15 energy in 12 to 18 seconds there if you crit every single Ravaging Confession, which could be very nice for you. That's going to fill up, you know, 25% of your elemental burst cost there, so that's going to help you out a ton there. And then there's the last one, Divine Retribution. This is the juicy one if you want to get every little itty bitty bit of damage out of your Rosaria. Using her elemental burst decreases your opponent's physical resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. This is very good. It's very strong, especially since you're already going to probably put her in a superconduct team. Now, is this worth going all the way to Constellation 6 for? Because, you know, the C2 is nice, the C3, 4, 5, those are okay, right? Is the C6 game-breakingly broken? Well, if you're already in a superconduct team, you guys don't know how it works already with it, physical resistance, elemental resist downs. The way that it works is if the enemy is already in the negatives or they're heading into the negatives, anything that would reduce them below 0, that effect gets halved. So if you're in a superconduct team with them and you're fighting against your generic enemy who has 10% physical resist, you have superconduct on them, that's minus 40. That first 10% of that 40 gets full value. So 40%, 10% minus 40. Okay, so you take the first 10, boom, full value, you drop them to 0% resist. Now you have 30% physical resist down left over. That gets halved because that's taking them into the negatives, so they're at negative 15. You do another minus 20%, this also gets halved, and they go from negative 15 to negative 25. So is it going to be, you know, a 20% DPS increase? No. Is it going to be a good way to get some extra damage out? For sure here, but the C1 is definitely by far and away her best constellation when it comes to making her your main carry damage dealer. You're going to be flying around the battlefield every 6 seconds, teleport behind like a ninja, knife him in the back, hit him with the polearm, crit him, get that bonus crit rate, and then just have even higher attack speed there. So I cannot wait for players to get their hands on this character. If you haven't looked at a physical carry character in a long time, they're very good, especially with superconduct. They might not always be the tippy top of the damage charts, but they are very versatile. You can basically take them to pretty much anything. The only thing they can't do a lot of the times is break specific shields, and you already have one of your Cryo characters right here, so you bring an electro character and you get to bring 2 other characters of your choice for your team composition, and that's going to be fantastic for you. Now, I know a lot of you guys wanted me to tell you that Dragon Spine Spear is going to be the greatest spear of all time for someone like this, and it's going to be a good option. It's going to be a very solid option. Look at the physical damage you get on this. 69 physical damage. That is a lot of physical damage. Remember, she's going to be a physical carry. You're going to be putting a physical goblet on her, and then on top of that, you have the refinement ranks here. Hitting an opponent with a normal or charge attack has a 100% chance at refinement rank 5 or a 60% chance at refinement rank 1 to drop an Everfrost icicle above them, dealing AoE damage. And then it's 80% multiplier at refinement rank 1, or it's 140% multiplier at refinement rank 5 there. If they're afflicted by Cryo, it is increased, all right? 200% at refinement rank 1 or 360% at refinement rank 5. Now, this is a very, very strong burst option for you here, but this can only occur once every 10 seconds. So you have it at refinement rank 5. Every 10 seconds, you can deal an additional, let's say 360% multiplier. Every 10 seconds, 360% mod. That's very strong. You know what beats that out? Ascent Pike. Now, we'll have to see exactly how fast she attacks. The slowest attacking attack speeds characters that are Polearms, because Polearm's one of the fast attack speed characters in the game. If you can get through a couple of your combos, maybe your 1, 2, 3, 4 animation cancel charge attack, that might take you like 2.5 seconds. Let's say 2.5 seconds to get through your full combo. Remember, you get one 360% mod in 10 seconds. You can probably get through minimum 3, probably at least 4 combos with the Crescent Pike. Now, what does that mean here? Now, the Crescent Pike here, If you guys don't know, it works just like the Dragon Spine. It's not increasing your damage dealt by 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, percent. It's an additional attack. Whenever you hit the monster with your normal or charge attack, it's going to trigger a secondary attack, and that attack can crit. That attack is deal physical damage, and that uses your crit damage as well. And because it's physical, it works with Superconduct, it works with her Constellation 6, it works with all of that stuff as well. So if you have something refinement rank 5, like we talked about with the Dragon Spine Spear, 360% multiplier there once every 10 seconds, 40% multiplier here every single time you actually hit the enemy. You take a look at Rosaria, right? Let's say it takes us 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, which is very, very, very slow to get through her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? To get through all of them. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, because this attack right here hits 2 times and it procs 2 crescent pikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits here. So in 2.5 seconds, you're going to get 7 procs of the crescent pike, which is already going to be a 280% multiplier. That is exceptionally powerful, and you get to do that minimum 2 more times in under 10 seconds. This beats it out 100% in single target. Now in AoE, this could be a little bit different. We already said too as well that this is giving this the Everfrost Icicle bonus damage. You're not guaranteed, especially if you're using her with someone like Fischl in your party, right? Some support character to proc that Superconduct. You're not guaranteed that when this Icicle procs and when it lands, they're afflicted with Cryo. We're just in this situation saying that it is, and it's already losing out to that Crescent Pike. And also the picking up an Elemental Orb or Particle is not going to be that big of a deal for her, because this buff lasts 5 seconds and she has a 6-second cooldown on Ravaging Confession. And when you use the elemental skill, guess what happens, guys? You generate that orb, you're good to go there as well. Then on top of that, every 4 hits you do roughly with any character in Genshin, you generate 1 random elemental particle as well. And that's going to be increased, especially if you have her Constellation 1, where that you have that extra attack speed. So she's going to be generating elemental particles off the hook. So if you're looking for Rosaria, you're a big Rosaria fan, you are a vampire lover of the night out there, and you're wondering, what should I work on? I'm going to pull for her. I haven't worked on El Spear yet. What should it be? Crescent Pike right now, from what I've done a little bit in the background math here with what we have here. Only thing we don't know is the exact attack speeds, but like we just said, we gave every benefit to the Dragon Spine Spear, and we said it took her, you know, she only got 3 combos off in 10 seconds, which is horrendously slow. She's probably going to get like 4 or 5 off, which makes the Crescent Pike that much better. It's still the most broken weapon in the game for characters like this. I know it's got lower physical damage, but getting to attack extra times is just too dang powerful. So if you have those Northlander Polearm belays now, I guess they're not called spears anymore, and you're wondering, should I do the pike or should I do the spear? The spear is going to be a lot random as well, because it's not even 100% proc rate until it's refinement rank 5. So keep that in mind as well. So characters to use with her, obviously Fischl is going to be a fantastic character. She's great in any superconductor team, especially good with Rosaria, because Rosaria needs that electro character in the team to work really well for that superconduct proc. So you're gonna have those 2 to go for, and then after that you can kind of do whatever it is that you guys want out there. You have your 2 solid core teammates there. If you want to do more physical reduction, you have someone like Zhongli in there. Hey man, put his pillar in the background so he doesn't max and mix up and ruin your superconduct, and then have his shield on, protect Rosaria, additional 20% physical resist down. You can go the distance with there, throw a healer in there, maybe throw like Xingqiu in there as well. Maybe you get some Xingqiu in there, action protect her as well. Maybe get some freezes off, so she's even more protected. Superconduct into freeze into superconduct. Seems pretty good. So there's gonna be a lot of cool different teams that you can do with Rosaria, guys. I wanted to make this video, guys, for you and to get as much condensed information on her as well as what we've been thinking about in the old theory craft section based on the facts that we have. And do know, before we end it, this could change a little bit. Usually things like this don't change significantly though, as the banner quickly approaches here. It's usually maybe some minor stuff. We've never had a character's entire kit change or anything crazy like that. So with that being said, if you guys want to see more Genshin Impact content or coverage, make sure you do like this video. It's the #1 thing that you can do for anyone on the tubes. I just called it that. I dated myself so hard to the tubes. Just end of this video, guys. Have fun, and I'll take care in the next one.